Hello everyone and welcome to game number 1 in this best of 3 series between Roller and Cubit. Unfortunately, had to delay this match from its initial time. Cubit had some things going on. I don't know all the details. It's not really all that important, but at least we've managed to fit it in and get it done here and now today. So, let's go ahead and take a look at this map. It is looking a bit awkward for the carbon this time. I'm fairly positive we will not see a scavenger found on this map. Everything else looking a bit more reasonable. Plenty of silicon available, plenty of iron available. Large patches of aluminum in case people want to found in them. And of course, decent water. The water isn't all that great, honestly. Plenty of adjacency bonuses, but no highs. Only a couple of mediums does leave things just a little bit awkward. Nobody too eager to found this game. Not really surprised. There are plenty of adequate spots.
Colony founded.
Cubit is going to be the one to go ahead and pull the trigger. No aluminum picked up right away. Choosing to just buy it first. We'll see how that goes for him. Whereas Roller, he is headed straight into a couple of metal mines for iron and an aluminum mine. And he is going to hit HQ2 immediately. And I imagine just move into 3 steel mills along with these iron mines. And we'll just have to see how that goes. Cubit probably going to be the heavy favorite this match, honestly. He's put up very strong fights in the other tournaments that we've seen, but Roller, I mean, so far Roller's off to a strong start, so I'm hoping we'll get some good matches out of this today. Cubit has gone ahead and finally hit HQ level 2 himself. No big surprise to see the robot running ahead. That is where he should be. So Cubit, even if he's running maybe a little behind right now, I don't think he needs to be worried at all. 2 aluminum mines coming out for Cubit. That's interesting. That's interesting to me. 2 aluminum mines. He's going to be pulling in so much of that resource that his opponent really isn't consuming. I imagine he's thinking he can use these later, potentially, for something like electronics production, for something like solar panels, if he needs to. That's very, very aggressive and definitely going to be potentially heavily pushing upgrades early in the game. Auction is coming out, and it is going to be for a geotherm. On the eastern side of the map, both players, I imagine, going to put a fair amount of value on this, but it might be a little bit, once again, a little harder for Cubit to use than Roller. No dynamite this game, so the distance isn't hugely important, especially considering it is power, but could be a bit of an issue. Cubit is going to end up taking that for 18,000. Not a bad amount to grab a geotherm claim for. Certainly, just nice to have that little extra claim in his pocket, good to go. Both players have used up all of their claims at this point. We do see 3 steel, 2 iron, 1 aluminum, 1 water for Roller, whereas Cubit, he's just got 4 steel. 4 steel for Cubit. 2 aluminum. Man, that just indicates he really just wants to ignore the first part of this game, I think, and rush through upgrades as fast as he possibly can. Let's take a quick look at the black market. We can see bribe a claim available, spy, filthy pirates, EMP, power surge, adrenaline boost, mutinies, and goon squads. Cubit is going to use his first black market purchase on an adrenaline boost. Make sure he's got that good to go. Roller did use his first purchase on a goon squad at first. And so you can see that's cost him a fair amount of money and kind of let Cubit start to catch up pretty well in the upgrades. Cubit just behind on HQ level 3 this time. Not a bad spot to be in, really. Roller trying to use his water income to allow him to move into food to make a little bit of money. No real move toward power just yet from either of these players. Cubit already has the geotherm that got handed over to him, but really not caring about anything else. And he is just heading right into glass. Just immediately decides that he wants a bunch of glass production, which fits into the rest of his strategy quite nicely. I mean, look at this. He's sitting on 5.25 aluminum, almost no steel because of the freeze, but then 1.5 glass. And he still has that geotherm claim available. This is all Cubit wants to do. He just wants to sit there and fly through upgrades without a care in the world. Still sitting on that adrenaline boost. He did purchase a goon squad to protect his steel mills so that that kind of freeze doesn't happen to him again. Always something to be aware of. Whereas Roller, still no moves into power for Roller. Like, neither player has actually built power yet this game, choosing to just take on all that debt. And okay, finally an adrenaline boost comes down. Where is it? Where's the... Alright. That would explain it. That's kind of a big deal this game, guys. I don't know what happened to Cubit, but it looks like Cubit clicked an adrenaline boost right in this general area somewhere. Just right around here. That's not really how you want to spend $3,000 at this stage of the game. Not what you're looking for at all. Oh well, happy birthday to the ground, I guess. Not a good day for Cubit, though. Thinking Machine's going for 28,000. That is a pretty penny, but I mean, Roller can absorb that debt and still have less debt than Cubit so far, so not really too concerned about it for him. I kind of like the idea of it. Just make sure his opponent doesn't get it. Thinking Machine's always kind of nice to have. Roller does have an upgrade available. I feel like he should take it. Personally, might just be me. He may be looking around trying to decide exactly what he wants to do with it before pressing the button. Always a reasonable thing to do. And Roller's actually going to head into wind power very quickly. EMP onto a significant amount of Roller's things, but you can see that Thinking Machine's in action. He's not getting hit by this too hard. I mean, it's still probably a good EMP. It is a nice freeze, but honestly, that's not going to affect Roller's income all that much, especially with that Goon Squad having been in place to protect another tile specifically. It's not too bad a situation for Roller, and that's how Cubit chooses to spend that particular black market cooldown. Roller and Cubit both have managed to hit HQ level 4. Once again, very, very similar in upgrade levels. Cubit has transitioned into just producing silicon. Makes a lot of sense. Glass not worth a whole lot right now. Silicon worth quite a bit. Always got to be careful with those glass furnaces when you are against a robotic opponent. Roller still has one claim left after putting down power and has chosen to mutiny away Cubit's geotherm. Cubit already in that C level of debt with an interest tick coming. Now, he will have plenty of power secured before too long with 2 geotherms, the ability to mutiny his back if he so desires. So this shouldn't turn into a long-term problem for him as long as he keeps an eye on it. But as you can see, debt already at 164,000 for Cubit, and increasing, not too much anymore with this geotherm online. Only about 97 a second, so he's mostly probably going to stabilize from that. Power surge does come down onto Roller's power, so he might be the one just bringing in all kinds of debt right now. Well, only 200. That's really not bad. Getting to ignore those life support resources. He still does, of course, have this geotherm mutinied away, so that's really what's kind of preventing a huge accumulation from him in the moment. It is important to note Roller has selected to move into electrolysis reactors rather than staying in those farms, and it looks like both players continuing to just try to power surge each other. Roller has an upgrade available. Cubit does not just yet. Could maybe sell down and pick it up fairly easily. He's about 12k away right now, and he has that amount in resources, but that means that he's not quite there yet. He will need to collect a few more resources. Roller likely just waiting, seeing how this auction goes. He picks up that geotherm. This is a really great geotherm for a robot, and you have to wonder about Roller choosing not to really exploit it earlier in the game, and instead going for these wind turbines, because if he had set up in mind to kind of abuse this geotherm, they could have been some easy extra adjacency bonuses early in the game. Not hugely impactful necessarily, but can make a small difference, really, which small differences in the early game turn into big differences in the late game. So definitely something I feel like Roller should have picked up earlier, but he kind of just gets it handed to him regardless, so not too bad at the situation for him overall. It is also nice for him that the tile is going to be defended for a little while longer, but I would almost certainly put a Goon Squad on that fairly soon. He is, in fact, going to go for a mutiny, though. He wants to just keep control of Cubit's geotherms. He doesn't care about his own. None of that. Just not worried in the slightest. Back into farms for Roller. Cubit, also having hit level 5, is going to move into a glass furnace and 2 solar panels. Both players kind of fighting to get the debt payment off of the current ridiculous power price right now. I think that's going to be going Roller's way. He's paying off about 1,100 a second. Oh, nope, Cubit with these solar panels is doing nicely now. Up at, wow, 4 solar panels. Where are his other 2? On top of his aluminum. That makes a lot of sense. Talked about that earlier in the game. So 7.3 power, 5.2. I don't know if that'll have a huge impact long term, but you can see Cubit is back in that B bond rating instead of the C, so he's unlikely to spiral into major problems now that he's managed to secure that level of power that he needs. Both players in farms. Cubits obviously already supplied the water, so they're going to be a bit more profitable. However, pirates are available to combat these if Roller would like to roll the dice on them. However, he selected something else for his current black market cooldown and has already utilized it because his black market is very, very recently on cooldown. That was likely a new claim. We have had a few of those purchased up this game just to kind of get that electronics triangle all the way down. Not a lot of money coming from that right now. Carbon is looking a bit iffy, and I don't know. Looks like Cubit was the one that went ahead and secured the pair of carbon tiles. So he might be making good money off Roller trying to make some electronics that really aren't worth a whole lot. Magnetic Storm available. We'll just let the players go through that, and while that's happening, take a quick look at Offworld prices, which we haven't really talked about much this game. 474 on fuel, 494 on chems, and 472 on electronics are your top three. So that's really what we'll be looking for. Not going to be a bad profit off those this game, I think. Electronics not too expensive, chems not too expensive, and of course fuel absolutely in the gutter with how many reactors have been down this game for the fact that we've only got like nothing flying through the air, basically. That is potentially going to mean that the Offworlds are going to be valuable this game. Alright. Magnetic Storm did go over to Roller for 12,000 at the end of the day. He is going to have that available to just kind of knock down food shipments if he wants. Hard to say exactly how much food he will be knocking down, as ships don't really show that accurately anymore, but he can always try and take a guess and make some use. Cubit hit himself with an adrenaline boost on an Offworld. This is the classic I want to win the game strategy that I honestly kind of hate and don't think should work as well as it does, but he is just using that Goon Squad he purchased at the beginning of the game, moving into an Offworld market. That's going to be constructed in 30 seconds and will immediately start launching. Can easily get a couple of launches in before that boost fades. And that'll likely give Cubit a pretty solid lead this game. He also has time to go ahead and toss an EMP at his opponent. Always very nice to see. Meanwhile, Roller, he hasn't really landed on an in-game strategy just yet. He does have the ability to place an Offworld, and I would recommend he do that almost immediately underneath his own Goon Squad to try and keep up with Cubit this game, but I'm worried that each second that goes by without him really committing to something, without him really making a decision, kind of leads him closer and closer to disaster, as Cubit, well, he's launching fuel. It's only 4 seconds away from his first real nice chunk of change from this Offworld, and he's going to have another almost fully boosted launch coming out momentarily. Already starting to get aggressive against Roller. I mean, this is what decides a matchup like this, is these mere seconds. You can see Cubit really with the game plan of, I just want to plant this Offworld and go, and I don't care about anything else in this game. It's all about getting this Offworld down, boosting, and going, even with the slightly lesser profits that we see this game compared to others. The plan should still work out well for him. I mean, Cubit, with this launch, he's going to have, what, like $60,000 after this launch? $52,000. That's easily 2 more stock. He's just 1 away from killing Roller at this point. Already, purely because of the adrenaline-boosted Offworld. Underneath the Goon Squad, couldn't be attacked, couldn't be defended against. The only way you fight this strategy is to do it first. 12,000. Alright. Claim auction is going to go to Roller for 12,000. Cubit doesn't really care. He sees the game just right there in his grasp. He knows he only needs about $10,000 more to actually clean it up with the majority buyout. Going ahead and making a quick transition into fuel. Understandable. Oxygen and fuel both making a lot of money in case anything goes wrong. And frankly, steel, $3 in the gutter. Both players just tanking that price. But he is likely just going to be waiting on this launch. Oh, cancel the launch to get the fuel to finish the game. That's what you expect to see from Cubit. That's exactly the kind of thing you expect to see. Paying attention, realizes fuel has gotten valuable. I'm just going to stop sending it. I'm going to ship it right now into the on-world market, and that'll give me the boost I need to finish this on up. Alright. Game 1 over to Cubit. I don't think anybody will be surprised by that, but Roller kept up with him for the most part. It's just, There is only one late game transition when adrenaline boosts are available. Let's be honest. There's just one. It's an instant off-world underneath a goon squad with an adrenaline boost. That's all that matters. All that matters in the late game. If one player does that and another doesn't in a majority buyout situation, the player who did it wins. So you always have to be watching for that and ready to do it when that circumstance is available that game. And man, these guys put steel at $2. I don't even know how you do that, really. That's pretty insane. Alright. Not a whole lot to talk about there. Pretty solid play all the way up until HQ5. Very sudden, instantaneous end with the adrenaline boosts. Let's on over to game number 2.